police are investigating a misdemeanor and you try to shut the door on them because you don't want to talk to the cop anymore, can they put their foot in your door and then say things like, I now own this house? My name is Anthony Bandiero, attorney and senior legal instructor for Blue Gold Law Enforcement Training, bringing you another roadside chat. You know, this video came out a little while ago. Some of you have seen it involving a Riverside police officer, sheriff's deputy. I wish I would have made a video on it sooner and got in on the bandwagon here, but you know what? It's time for me to kind of share some viewpoints on this. So let's watch the video. Let's see what's kind of going on here, and let's dissect what the law is and what the law isn't. Okay, so let's play the video here. He's investigating a noise complaint. Fine, so far so good. Doesn't want to be in the fatal funnel, kind of backs up a little bit. Apparently one of the kids involved in the house opens the door, looks at the deputy standing on the lawn, and he's going to and then he pushes the door physically open.
You can.
Okay, then back the f***
I'm
out of
not
my
gonna
house.
back up.
You do not have a right to be inside my
I'm
house.
not
I
gonna
will
back
talk
up.
to you outside.
Back up and talk to her outside.
No.
You don't have a warrant. No, don't talk to them.
You don't have
You do not
to.
have
Let
a
me tell
warrant
you-
to be inside. I will talk to you outside.
You want?
Officer, I will talk
I
to
am
you
not
outside.
going to step outside your house.
You do not have a
We're
warrant
gonna
to be
talk
inside
right
of my house.
I'm not inside your house. Okay.
You're inside of my house.
Let me tell you why I'm right here.
Because you walked in.
No, because they opened the door and ran from me.
And
That's
I'm
why.
telling you, I am the
Okay,
adult
and I'm
here.
telling
This
you
is my home.
that now that I'm inside your house, I own your house right
you
now.
do not.
Yes, I do.
No shit,
Yes,
bro.
I do.
Bro, I know my rights.
I don't care if you know your rights.
All right, so, just real quick, I just want to, just make sure we're on the same page here. So this is what this is what we have here, right? We have an officer who's investigating allegedly a noise complaint. Fine, right? Then some teenagers, open the door, they see the officer, they shut the door. He physically, from what I can see here, he physically turns the knob and pushes the door open. It seems like maybe the kids or somebody is behind that door because he's kind of seemed like he's pushing it against some weight. I think the kids then back up, the door opens, and then the mom engages the person. So the officer, now are we even, with the facts that you see here, are we allowed to do this? Well, let's make sure we're on the same page, okay? What is the most protected area under the Fourth Amendment? Okay, I'll wait. It's your home. Your home is like a castle, right? And the King of England was not supposed to enter the castle unless he had the authority of law. And the authority of law means that you either have consent, a recognized exception where the courts say you don't need to come to us first because you have some form of exigency, or a warrant. We don't see consent here. Clearly, it's the opposite of consent because the door was shut on the deputy's face and the mother's telling the deputy to leave. We also have no, from what I can see here, no recognized exception. All home entries without consent or a warrant require exigency. Now, if the music was so loud and blaring and, we had like this loud party call, and at the time the deputies arrived, they're not shutting on the music. There are cases out there that talk about this as an ongoing nuisance. Nuisances are a form of exigency. But at this point, I hear no music. I hear no fighting, no arguing. I don't see anything where somebody's in danger. I see no imminent destruction of evidence. I see no escape. I just see a person running into the house. So I don't see any exigency. So when he says, I own this house, I think what he obviously means is, hey, I own it. I'm here. I can control it while I'm doing my investigation. But that is not necessarily true, right? Look at Supreme Court cases like Payton, where you cannot enter a home to arrest a murder suspect without exigency or warrant. Cases like Lang, where you cannot enter the home on hot pursuit of a misdemeanor. Cases like Caniglia versus Strom, you can't go into a house just to seize firearms because somebody was civilly committed without some form of consent or exigency. It just goes on and on and on. And this officer, unfortunately, did not get the memo. Let's return to where we were at.
And I'm telling you, my dog will bite you if I tell her to bite you. So
Tell
I'm
your dog to
asking
bite
you to back
Tell
up.
your dog to bite
and
you.
I will talk to you outside.
I'm not going to talk to you
What
outside.
the f*** do you want? What the f*** do you want inside my house? Bring your supervisor to my home now. Yeah, bring them all.
We'll turn
You
the
have
music
no
down.
right
Please
to
leave
be
us
inside. No, don't talk to them.
Please.
You have no right to be inside because they opened the door. They're minors. I'm the adult here. This is my home.
She said she's the adult.
She's not the fucking. She's my daughter. Get the out of my
I'm
home.
not gonna get out of your house.
Then call your fucking supervisor right now
415 noise.
and put me to the fucking ground. I fucking double dog
Go ahead
dare
and
you.
touch me.
This is my home,
ahead and touch
bro. You're in my house.
I am telling
You're
you.
in my house. Don't do that. You're in my. I didn't touch you. Her. Did I touch you? Did I touch you?
Stop. You can't do anything.
Did I touch
You're just gonna make it worse.
Did I ever touch you? I did not fucking touch you, bro.
Step away.
I didn't fucking touch you.
Nah, you're good. You're
I
good.
didn't
Mama D,
fucking
stop.
touch you.
Mama D, stop. Mama
I
D,
didn't fucking touch you. You're intimidated,
Mama,
bro. You're in my house.
I am telling
You're
you.
in my house.
Don't do that.
You're
Hey,
in my. I didn't touch. She's hurt. Did I touch you? What's wrong with you? Did I touch you? Did I
you can't do anything.
touch you?
Oh my
Step away.
No, I know. We
You're
just want to
in
relax
my
her. We
fucking
just want her to calm
home,
down.
bro.
We just want her to calm
You're
down.
in
Mama
my
D,
home.
Mama D, please. Please, Mama D.
Oh,
I think we've seen enough. It's actually kind of hard to watch. It's not the most egregious violation I've seen. Obviously there's some worse videos out there, but it's bad. It's bad in the sense of it's so obvious, right? It's so obvious that this officer does not know what he's doing. And it's also obvious that he's letting his ego, and this is my humble opinion, because there's a lot of fine officers out there. And, he may be a stellar officer 99.9% of the time, but this night does not look good for him. It looks obvious to me that he let this woman in a situation overcome his good judgment, his ego, and so forth. And we all have egos. Don't think he's, but the point is, when he said he owns this house, I guess what he means is he's going to buy the house, right? I guess, if it looks like what we see here and all these facts are true, that unless there's something else that he's not articulating that would justify his behavior, he's going to buy that house and he's going to give the keys right back to her, because this is going to end up being a relatively expensive lawsuit. I mean, she's probably went to jail. She's probably spent the night in the clink. Then when we figure out what happened here, the administration is not going to be happy about what happened. He's certainly going to get sued. I mean, she's probably not the type of person who's just going to, dust herself off and be like, okay, I learned my lesson too. Like, she actually didn't do anything wrong, definitely not illegal. She can definitely, tell this guy no uncertain terms to get the F out of her house. Quite frankly, I'd be saying the same thing. So if an officer was doing this to me, so the point is, and then now she goes to jail. So now you just add zeros to her check. Just keep in mind, guys, that, when you're dealing with homes and so forth, you really have to have the capacity mentally to think to yourself, you know what? I'm legally beat here. You have to appreciate when the law is not in your favor. The law is overwhelmingly in your favor for most of the things that you do. It's designed that way because we let crime control in this country. But don't forget about the freedom piece. People have the right to keep the government out of their home unless you have their consent, agency, or a warrant. And if you don't have one of those three, then go to the curb, go to the judge, ask for permission to be in that house, and then come back with your friends in the green pajamas and go in there and take care of business, right? But you need to do that first. And this video has been seen millions of times, and it should be, because officers out there need to make sure that they never fall for this. This officer is going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, at the same time, I don't want to disparage anybody at this police department. In fact, I'll tell you that if you are at this police department and you work for this police department, you need to call me. This is actually what I do for a living. I travel the country and I train agencies, and I go through. I train we'll get through the whole agency, whatever time it takes, a week, 2 days, whatever it is. And I train them and I teach them how to make good case law. This officer did not attend my class because he would have recognized that this was actually not the right thing to do. But I save agencies a lot of money and stress because I tell them and I show them and I make them think about how to make good case law. So sucks that it happened, but it did. Please take a lesson from this. Know what the law is, know what you can do, and also, as importantly, know what you cannot do. If you like what I'm doing here, like, subscribe, share with your friends. And until next time, my friends, you stay safe.